Welcome to week 145, which becomes a 10 vibration, which is a 1, or new beginnings powered by the spirit, which 0 is spiritual energies. So we have beautiful red energy. Actually, that looks orange behind there on the camera, but it's actually red. It's brilliant red. What a shame the cameras have decided to make it look a different color. But red is the color for us this week to really get us moving and zoom us forward into these new beginnings that are coming forward for us. But what sort of new beginnings are coming forward? Well, today the vision that I had was and it was just one vision. You know, often I have a vision and another vision, you know, singular visions. But today it was one vision of a scene today. And it was a group of people dressed in blue swimwear. I mostly noticed masculine wearing little blue swimwear and nothing on the top half, but I knew that it was more than just masculine energy. And they were standing on the banks of a river and slowly walking into the water, and also on the banks of the river were bulrushes or reeds, if you like. But the thing that drew my attention was they were wearing these mushroom type hats, magic mushroom type hats. And in previous weeks, we've had the magic mushroom come up quite often, and the magic mushroom is about finding self. So this is where their mind, because it's the hat, that's the hat they're wearing, that's what they're doing. They're seeking to find out more about themselves. This is us, of course. And walking into consciously entering into the river of life, which is a very emotional journey when we are still transiting from fourth dimension and into the fifth dimension. The fourth dimensional realm is an emotional realm. It is a watery realm. It's where we carry all our baggage. It's the time-space continuum where we can always look back in our previous lifetimes, our previous existences, and we can always move forward into past. So we can go into meditation, we can access future existences. Excuse me. But the fourth dimension is a stepping stone, or maybe even a excuse me, springboard, if you like, to springboard into the higher dimensions, into the fifth dimension, into the fifth world, so that we can enter. We have to have mastered our emotions. So the fourth dimension is about mastering our emotions. It's about really getting to know ourselves. It's a feeling existence. And that's our life. It's a feeling existence. We're incarnated to learn about feelings, to learn about the emotions, to understand ourselves through a feeling nature. And I think that we are probably one of, if not the only planet that or civilization that actually learns through the emotions. So entering into the river is entering into the river of life. I'm saying consciously, I'm going to walk into the emotions, which means that we are now at a point where we are more consciously able to make that journey. So many people, especially those of you watching this, have already entered and embarked upon this journey probably a long time ago, or even if you're new at it, it doesn't matter. But the people that have already embarked upon the ascension journey, which is ascending from fourth dimension to fifth dimension, and of course the ascension never stops. We go from fifth dimension, sixth, seventh, we continue on and on and on. We are always ascending. But those that have already been working through the emotional journey of the fourth dimension and made that choice either on a conscious level or a subconscious level to transition over into the fifth dimensional realm of consciousness will know that the journey in the fourth dimension is a very emotional journey. And it is a place where we actually have a choice point here. We have a choice point to stay and swim in amongst those emotions forevermore if we wish to, or we have a choice to step above. We're learning about our emotions, but we know, so it's coming into the heart center. We know that this is the bridge between worlds, that we have the physical material world in amongst this fourth dimension as well, but 3 and 4 is very much about the physical, emotional, and a material world, and we have the opportunity to step into a higher world, into the throat, where we're able to actually live out our truth and express that truth. So in the fourth dimension, we're making those decisions, but before we can get to that level, we have to experience our emotions, which means we have to feel. And many people still want to shove their feelings down and not feel them. But now we've been forced into it collectively. So those that have already done it are now doing it again, because many people are now way beyond the fifth dimension, and not just fifth dimensional consciousness. They may be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and beyond. And so the people that have already done this are now consciously going back in and doing it again, because they are doing it for humanity, and they do it from a higher perspective. So even if you are cleaning up your own, the bottom layers of your pyramidal self, you're doing it for yourself so that you can gain greater strength to go higher and higher, but you're also in service to humanity now. So you're also feeling for humanity. And as you heal for yourself, you heal for the collective, and help humanity in that way to rise above. So it's really important to stay in a positive state of mind. So these people have got their hats of finding self on, and you know, to go into that place where we really can feel and experience, which is what I've never taken magic mushrooms, by the way, but I know people that do. So I know it's an experiential realm, and that's how they find and raise in levels of consciousness. My son actually tells me that, Mum, you can't get there unless you use mushrooms. So sorry, love, I did it a long time ago. Didn't have any mushrooms. Maybe my kids were my mushrooms. But anyway, I had a few mushrooms somewhere that came from somewhere, but they weren't out of the ground. So we are experiencing these realms. We're allowing ourselves to go in and experience this. And these people on the sides of banks of the river, they are moving in, they're wearing the little blue swimwear. So they're ready to, blue is about spiritual, it's peace, it's serene, it's calm, it keeps us in that space. So they're wearing the garment of spirituality. So this is really talking about not the people that haven't got there yet, but it's more talking about the people that are already on this spiritual journey, the people that have already made that choice to cross over, so to speak, to cross over to the higher realms, and walk and literally swim that spiritual journey in the river of life and feel these emotions. It can be a scary thing to have to feel deeply into your emotions, but the waters were calm, by the way. This river was calm. Most rivers are fairly calm. The Nile runs pretty heavy duty though, but it was calm, and it was a very serene experience. The bulrushes on the side, bulrushes often symbolize the what did I say in my little thing that I wrote there? Anyway, bulrushes. When you look at the word, the bulrush. So bulls tend to rush in. You know, you have the bull rushing in. So this is a plant, and it's on the side of. It's reminding us, don't rush in. In fact, stand still, observe yourself, and take that time to step back, so to speak. And also bulrushes or reeds, we know, have been used, if you cut them off, they're hollow in the middle, have been used to be able to breathe through when you're swimming underwater. So they allow us to, you know, take a step back and breathe and think about things before we jump too far ahead. And this is the place that we're in right now. So we're making those transitions. We know that this is 2021. We are moving into the, entered into the age of Aquarius, or in, if you like, the age of Kefra. And this is the new dawn. This is where we are awakening, and more people are awakening. Now, the visions reminded me of the movie, this shows my age, but anyway, the movie Cocoon, where they, it was a retirement village or something, I can't remember, a long time ago that I watched it, but in any case, when they went into this pool of water that had these big eggs that belonged to the ETs, they didn't get sick anymore, and they became ageless, which is what happens when we step on the ascension path. We raise our levels of consciousness, our frequency, the frequency of our body, every cell of our body becomes higher. And so a diseased cell of whatever kind of sickness, disease, is a low frequency cell. And when we choose to raise our consciousness and raise our frequency, we are raising the frequencies of every cell of our body, which means that a low frequency cell cannot exist in a high frequency environment. And so many of you now will know you haven't been sick for a very long time, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, maybe. Some people have been on the journey a long time and have made that transition a long time ago and don't get sick anymore. And, or very rarely. I don't get sick anymore. Hadn't had a flu for probably nearly 20 years, but I did pick up something earlier this year. I don't know what it was, but I felt it. So I had an experience, not earlier this year, sorry, early 2020. I picked up something, who knows what it was, but some sort of virus. And, but it didn't last long. And so, you know, if, for instance, you do pick up some sort of a virus, whatever that virus is, look at it for what it is, because viruses require the need to change the way we think about something. In other words, they require a change in consciousness, a rise in consciousness. And when our consciousness rises, we no longer think the same. So therefore, if we no longer think the same, we no longer feel the same, because our thoughts create our feelings. So if we have negative thoughts, we're going to have, you know, unsettled emotions. So it moves down through the layers. So you can see that a virus moving through humanity is exactly what we need for a rise in consciousness. It's doing its work. It's helping people to rise in consciousness because they have to start to think differently about things. And we still have two schools of thought. Some are thinking this way, some are thinking that way. It'll balance itself out eventually, and we will have that rise in consciousness that we need for humanity and the collective to step over the bridge in the heart space, over that bridge and into the throat chakra, into being game enough to say, here I am, this is who I am, this is my truth, I'm confident in speaking it, I'm not ramming it down your throat, it's just who I am. And that is when people make this shift into moving into the fifth dimensional consciousness. Now, the fifth dimensional consciousness is a place where we have to learn to master our thoughts. So in the fourth dimension, we have to master our emotions. And in the fifth dimension, to make that transition, we are being tested our thoughts, and we'll be in the test. We're always in the testing grounds one way or another, but you can gauge where your consciousness is sitting at any point of time. And what are you being tested with? Are you being tested by emotions? Are you being tested with your thoughts? What is it that you are being tested with? And remember that the thoughts will always, you know, move back down through the emotions. You can't just, actually, while I'm on that change thing, bacterial feel about something. So any liquidy, gooey crap is to do with feeling, and the rest is to do with the thoughts. So we always need to change. We always need to change something, but viruses are to do with the need to change the way we think about something. So a change in consciousness is required. So anyway, these people on the banks of the river are consciously choosing to enter into the waters, to feel more serenely. What does it feel like? What does this, when you step back, like the bulrushes are saying, step back, and something has happened, and it might be a trigger that you've experienced in the past. And in the past, you might have flared up or sulked or got angry or whatever emotion you would normally do. But this time, the same thing has happened, and it's not that it doesn't affect you at all, but this time you're able to step back and you're actually able to step into it and feel it. How do I feel about this now? And turn it into a meditative experience, more serene. What does it feel like? Because you can't learn about yourself until you understand how you feel, what your feelings are feeling, and also learn to understand your thoughts. So when, on Saturday, I had an irritated energy on Saturday, irritated feeling. It made me feel a little bit, angry is not the right word, but there was an angry energy moving through my body and irritation. And I knew where it was coming from because my thoughts guided me in that particular direction. And that's how you can start to learn to master your mind. It's a very simple technique. But when you are, it's a different story if someone's standing in front of you and they do something to you and they make you angry. But if you just arise with an irritated feeling and you don't know where it's coming from, watch where your thoughts are going, because that is where it is coming from. And in this way, you start to learn how to understand your emotions and understand your thoughts and bring mastery over them. And you can get to know, okay, something has happened here, somebody's not thinking in the right way towards me, or somebody has done something that is not in integrity towards me, or you can say, okay, something's not quite right. So you have the opportunity to then step back and say, I'm going to take some space because something doesn't feel right. And when the energy feels right again, when the energy is clear, then you can come back together again. But if the energy doesn't feel right, it's always good. In my opinion, it's my opinion. Opinions not necessarily the truth, by the way, they're just opinions. But in my opinion, you step back and keep that stepped back until such time as the energy feels good again. And this way, we avoid conflicting energies when it's not quite right. Because we don't always know. A lot of people tend to hide things and don't tell the whole truth. So it's good to keep our distance and understand what's happening. We know the truth. The truth and true wisdom comes through energy, and you can feel it. So I've done the cards for today. And the first card that came up in the base chakra, the first card that is leading us forward today in this with these energies is card number 35, which is becomes an 8. So the 3 and the 5, again, we're talking about solar plexus, and the tells us a lot that, we want to express our truth. So if we want to express our truth, we really need to have a balanced solar plexus, because if we have any anxiety or fear in our solar plexus, we're not able to express our truth. And a 3 and a 5 becomes an 8, which is as above, so below, heaven on earth. So we need to be able to express our truth to bring heaven on earth, but we need it to be in a harmonious way. So this card says, my nice new big laptop is showing nice, beautiful, big pictures. Accept disappointments gracefully. And this is a little bit like the bulrushes on the side of the Nile. I keep going to say Nile because I live beside the Nile, but anyway, on the side of the river. And the people on the beach moving in. So they know that maybe there's a disappointment, maybe there's something that they're feeling, and they are going to move into the water to feel that. They're doing it gracefully. It was very serene. So accept disappointments gracefully. Step back and feel into it. If you're feeling disappointed about something, feel into it and see, why do you feel so disappointed? And card number 2 is card number 2, and it's the High Priestess, Archangel Haniel. Listen to your intuition. Have patience. Step back, have patience. Observe. Consider carefully what you want before acting. That's good advice. Because this is in the sacral chakra. So we are creating we are creating our life with this, what's happening in our life. So, take that time, listen to your intuition. How do you feel about something's not feeling right, or something's feeling fantastic? Go for it. Something's not feeling right, step back. This is a High Priestess. She knows. She steps into the water. She steps in there. She feels. She's not afraid to feel until she receives the wisdom, the true wisdom, which comes in energy. So the true wisdom comes in energy. So, okay, how do you know that? Okay, I feel like crap. That's an energy. You're feeling irritated. You have something moving through. That's an energy. There's a wisdom trying to get you to understand what's going on. Where are my thoughts going when I feel this energy? Who or what am I, where are my thoughts going? Is it a person? Is it a situation? That is where you learn about the wisdom, get the wisdom codes or wisdom understanding to know what's going on and where it is. And then it gives you the opportunity to step back and respond rather than react. In the solar plexus is the key. So the key is in the solar plexus, because this is about success, by the way, and unlocking the wisdom and the information that you may have had locked away for a very long time. So you come into balance in your solar plexus, and then you are able to have that true wisdom opened and unlocked for you, because no more anxiety, no more fears in the way. And also the solar plexus is connected with your thoughts. So obviously when you're feeling anxious, anxieties and things like that, you will find, where are my thoughts going there? Or what is coming into my mind, because it's affecting my solar plexus. So if you're starting to feel anxieties and anxious and fears, check your thoughts again and shift them, change them into thoughts of peace. And how can you do that? You can do that by thinking about happy thoughts or peaceful thoughts or whatever. So you would just focus on something. Say you choose a happy thought. Focus on something that is really positive, that has always made you happy and has always made you move forward. And this is where music also comes in handy, happy music, because it shifts your thoughts to happiness, and then you'll notice that the anxieties and the fears will go away. So thinking about, if you've ever had kids or something like that, you can think about the joys that you've had with your children and just totally stay focused on that. So it's making a conscious effort to shift your thoughts away from what is stressing you and into something that always makes you good. And in the heart chakra, card number 5, so it's about changing the way you feel about things, because it's in the heart. And the card says teach. So teach. So we teach by being the way shower, by living the example, and be it, and others will follow. So that helps us step into our truth as well, because it's in the heart chakra. So being willing to just allow yourself to teach by being conscious. We have the 8 of Wands, and things are moving really fast. Okay, things are going to start moving really fast now. When you step onto that conscious path, which basically means being conscious of every thought, word and deed. That might be a bit of pressure, every thought, word and deed, but as many as you can, as conscious as you can be every single day, things start to move really fast. and this is card number 8, you do start to create heaven on earth. You really start to shift your consciousness. You speed things up. This is a fast card. You're speeding up your frequency. You're rising in consciousness. Those wands are being, thoughts are rising. They're being thrown up into the air. So things really start to move fast, and especially your frequency. And the card in the brow chakra, what we're awakening to right now is number 10, and today's a 10-day. Number 10, and it is Kepra, which is the scarab. And he is bringing, this is about cycles of change. He's the planetary dancer and planetary guardian and spiral dancer. He's been down in the dung, in the crap, in the shite, and he has been in there long enough that he's had enough now, and so he's coming back up out of the dung and out into the beautiful new dawn. And this is the cycle that we're in now for the next 2,000 years. And this is a new consciousness being birthed for us. It's exactly where we are right now. Beautiful, beautiful. That's our future. That's our future, because probably most of us won't be here in 2,000 years. Not in this body anyway. Maybe in another one, not this one. Who knows? You never know. And the card in the crown chakra is Osiris. Father, husband, brother, son. So this is, okay, this is a masculine card, but Osiris really, this is what this is saying. This is the land of Osiris, which is heaven, more or less. Is talking about heaven, the land of Osiris. So, this card, the Dawn of Kepra, is leading us into the heavens. Crown chakra, leading us into the heavens, seventh heaven, where everything is bliss, where everything is beautiful, where we really are conscious, where we really do, we have become enlightened. And becoming enlightened doesn't mean that nothing bothers us anymore. It just means that we are fully conscious of everything, and we shine the light on all of our emotions and our thoughts. We enlighten everything so that we can see clearly and be fully in our truth. So great message for this week, and maybe you can go and watch the movie Cocoon just for fun. Feel that serenity that went with those soul codgers. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Please give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you to everybody that has subscribed to my channel so far. I'm really starting to enjoy doing these videos. I used to be quite nervous about it, but now I just do it because it's fun. And I love Mondays. So I hope you love Mondays too. And thank you to everybody that comes in and does the light codes. And if you would like to purchase the light codes after, they are always available. Either through the links on my website, on the blogs, or in my Etsy shop, and the links are all below. So that's it. See you next week.